All right, welcome to Flexlanta Podcast here at Fineo Fit. We've done plenty of interviews and videos here, so I know the background does look familiar, but we do have a new person. She's never been on the show, never been interviewed.
Hey everyone, my name's Madeline Conti. You can find me on Instagram at mcontifitness. I am training all of my clients out of Fineo in Smyrna. We love it here. I am opening my own facility fairly soon. I've been saying that for the past year. Cue the pandemic. But my business is called Continuum Sports Performance. We work with general population and a lot of high school athletes. But my biggest thing is making the general population feel like an athlete too. So we train everyone really the same way. We focus on mobility, durability, strength training, being efficient in our training, making it, progressive. From week to week, we're building on what we've learned in the past week, and that kind of rolls us into what we just did today, which was the Kettle Club course. This was the third class of 3. I kind of marketed it as a course because I wanted people to know there are multiple components that build onto each other that creates what is the culmination of it, which is flowing with the kettlebell, so dancing with the kettlebell.
Right.
And so we just covered the grinds, the ballistic lifts. Those are the 2 components of hardstyle kettlebell training. And then kind of my spin on it is putting the 2 together and just having fun with it. So, yeah.
That's awesome. You said this was a 3-week class?
Yes.
Is that how it usually is, or that's just something special you had going on right here?
So this was actually our trial run of it. So what we've decided to do is in the future, we're going to condense it into one weekend because I know it's hard to ask people to be free for 3 weekends in a row. And we feel like every component is super important in learning really all of the ways of training with hardstyle kettlebell training. So what we're going to do is on a respective Saturday, we're going to do the grinds and the ballistic lifts, and then on that Sunday, we'll do the flow part. So that was today's class we would put on the second day of a weekend-long course. And we're actually going to take that course and tour it around the city. So we're going to go down to Peachtree City in February and teach it at Elite Performance Institute. We're going to go to Chamblee and teach it at Atlanta All South Barbell in Chamblee, and just go from there.
Awesome. A couple more questions for a new client that wants to sign up, and they say they're not really focused on squatting, dumbbells, and all that other stuff, but they want to do kettlebells. What would you tell them are the benefits of kettlebell training versus regular weightlifting and just regular everyday workouts?
Yeah, so kettlebells, it's no secret at this point, kettlebells are my favorite piece of equipment out there. They got me through quarantine. I had a single kettlebell at home at first. I bought more as the months went on, but the kettlebell, you can really do everything with it, and it's an interesting weight distribution. It's more comfortable for pressing and rowing, and then it's also easier to throw around than, think of doing cleans and snatches with a dumbbell compared to a kettlebell that you kind of get to wear on your arm versus just holding it. I would say it's just a really awesome, versatile piece of equipment, and if you're interested in kettlebell training and nothing else, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So I was recording the class, so I didn't jump in it, but it just looked very, I wouldn't say difficult, but a lot of focus. Is that true? A lot of focus is in it. Would you? How is this compared? I wouldn't say is it compared to yoga, but when you are lifting kettlebells, is there any type of therapeutic feeling you have?
Therapeutic? I would say for sure. So if you turn on the right music for me and you put a kettlebell in my hand, I can go forever and just kind of swing it around and play with it and experiment with different movement patterns. And I will say that you're right, the choreography part of this is the hardest part about it. Once you practice all of the moves, it really sinks in. But at first, it's going to expose oh my gosh, I'm not good at moving laterally. Or I can't figure out the weight shift from right to left as the kettlebell's going the opposite direction. It really makes you think. And I feel like the neural part of training is kind of overshadowed by the physical pumping iron. So this is something that will train your brain just as much as it trains your body.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. And then our last question is, how is your mental health going into 2021 and into the new year and new gym space and trying to open your space? And so how is your mental health right now? How's everything?
Yeah, it's a lot of new. So I will say, as a person who has not struggled with depression my whole life, but worked with it, been aware of it. I've done a lot of my own soul searching to like figure out how to deal with it, especially like without medication or anything. I'm like, okay, I can do this. Like, I just need to look inward and figure out my outlets to making myself feel good. And I would say exercise is a big part of that. Also just being outside in general. And as we all probably felt at the beginning of quarantine this time last year, we're all stuck inside, right? So it's like, what can I do if I'm stuck inside? How can I be productive? How can I like continue to work toward this new gym concept of mine while being stuck in my living room? So I was doing live workouts every day, connecting with new people. I would say probably half of the people who came to the class were people I did live workouts with on Instagram. So that was kind of cool.
I saw a post you said you had an influx on, influx on new followers, and you said they came from during the quarantine stuff. So it worked out for you. Everything was cool.
Did, yeah.
That's
interestingly
good.
enough,
That's definitely good.
I would say that connecting with those specific people kept me pushing forward through that whole time. And now we're in a new year. I haven't opened my gym space yet, so that was a little tough because I wanted it to be open in the fall. But it's all about timing. You just don't know when your time is, and it's going to happen when it happens, and it's going to happen the way it's going to happen, and you just have to roll with it. So, yeah.
Again, thank you for some of your time. This is the Flex Talk Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, our website, flexlanta.com, and iTunes. And drop your IG one more time so they can find you.
Yeah, my IG is mcontifitness.
Good job.
There you go.
We're
Thank
out.
you.
Peace.